purveyors of YouTube. It's after 4 a.m. here and I couldn't sleep, so welcome to Up Late with Sister Danger. Seeing as how insomnia seems to have struck me, I thought I would sit here and ramble at YouTube a little bit about some of the things that were irking me today in the great realm of social media. Specifically, the one that really rankled me the most, and I guess I probably saw this, yesterday morning around 4 or 5 a.m. when I couldn't sleep then either. Whatever the case, this business with Zoe Quinn and her claiming that she has dropped the charges against Eron. I am much less interested in the factuality of whether or not she dropped the charges, but she wrote a blog post, and in this blog post she advises women specifically to not go to the authorities if for some reason they're being harassed or they feel like they need to have some kind of restraining order, they're being cyber-stalked or bullied. Don't go to the authorities, Zoe advises, because it's hard and they are going to ask you just as many questions as they may ask the person that you're accusing. And I don't have words for how angry actually this makes me. She is a person who props herself up as somebody who is an advocate of making sure that others are safe. She doesn't want to see cyberbullying or all of these other little things that she stands up and white knights for. And I cannot think of worse and more disingenuous advice to give to somebody who is in true and serious trouble other than to not go to the authorities. One of the main issues that we have in domestic violence and other such cases, especially when it comes to the law as it relates to cyberspaces and online bullying and free speech and all these other things. But when it comes to domestic violence and those things for which a person would typically get a restraining order, one of the issues that we suffer from is that we don't have enough information. People don't report the violence. They don't report their rape cases. They believe what Zoe tells them when she says, if you go there, it will only make it worse. If you go there, these people won't help you. They're going to question you. It's going to be hard and it's going to be hurtful. And it may be hard and hurtful. And yes, of course, you're going to be asked questions. This is a foundation of our entire legal system, is that a person's innocent until proven guilty. But when people don't go, it is so detrimental, not just to them, but to everybody that might suffer from something like that in the future. Even if you took your case, you brought it forward, and you went through what I can only agree would be very painful processes in order to try to get justice. And even if you came out of that feeling like justice wasn't served for you, even in the most cynical of situations, if I were to take the worst possible scenario that some terrible crime or injustice was done, and when it was taken forward to the law and the authorities, that justice was not served. Even if that was the case, it helps. Even the worst case scenarios, what they do is they shed a light on where things are broken and where those fault lines are. And maybe your suffering or your situation was not resolved to a satisfaction perfect for you. But it wasn't in vain, because it is that data that gets one more drop in the bucket that gets added to that which is used to see where issues are, to analyze situations, and to make the change for progress. And when you opt out of that, you are taking away even a little tiny bit, a little tiny bit of progress for somebody that may be coming after you that is suffering from that same thing. At the very end of the day, if everything was to go the most horrible way possible, you can always take solace and comfort in the knowledge that it is still going to help people in the future that may be suffering or going through the same thing. Perhaps it's a cold comfort, but it seems incredibly selfish to think that in any such horrible situation, that unless one receives their own vindication of the issue and whatever retribution they thought was necessary, that who cares about everybody else's suffering? If my suffering doesn't get answered, if my pain doesn't get answered, then who cares about everyone else's? Is that attitude really reflective of somebody that is truly fighting for the justice and the safety of women, or of men and women against domestic violence or rape or other kinds of abuse and assault? I don't think so. You don't advise people to not do something that is in their best interest to do because it didn't work out for you the way that you wanted it to. I can't think of anything more loathsome and selfish. That is exactly what is helping to perpetuate the vacuum of the very knowledge that is needed in order to make the proper changes in our legal systems. You know, I was editing this right here, and I just thought I would insert really quick and say, it's also possible, of course, that the system has done exactly what the system was designed to do. It has worked perfectly, and you're just a complete moron when it comes to the law and your constitutional rights and how all of those things work. Because that happens all of the time too. People just don't know what they're talking about, or they didn't have a case to begin with and they knew it. And they went forward and they tried to push something and they lost. And now they're butthurt about it. So, yeah. For the love of everything on this green earth, don't listen to people like Zoe Quinn when she says, don't go to the authorities. If you truly are a person who feels like, if you believe that you have been raped, if you believe that you are being stalked or harassed or bullied or abused, go to the authorities. Go. Do not listen when somebody says, don't do it because it's going to be hard. Yes, it is going to be hard. Painful things in life are hard, but nothing ever changes if you do not push through it. Nothing changes for you. Nothing changes for anybody that may come after you. You have to fight that battle. So please don't ignore it. That effort is gonna help somebody else down the line later on. So now that I'm done making my plea to not listen to Zoe Quinn, the other thing that has been somewhat annoying to me here, and I will admit that I haven't been following this particular case or situation in the news here with any particular rigor. It's just something that happened to come across my feed today, and so I clicked on it and looked into it. But this business about Clifford Durand, who said 7,000 retweets and I'll smash this bitch's computer because she had a Donald Trump sticker on her computer. And so, of course, he gets all these retweets. Now, as I understand the order of events here, okay, this guy tweets some stuff out. Then it basically goes viral. All these people start retweeting it. This chick doesn't even know that he has done this until her friends are like, hey, check it out. This has gone viral. Did you know you're on the internet? And as a result, she contacts, we'll just call it her college trust and safety, because I'm not really looking at the exact details of the articles right now, but she more or less contacts the college and is like, oh, I'm being threatened with violence by this guy, do something about it. And then she takes matters into her own hands and she confronts this guy and she's like, hey, take that down. And he says, make me. She gets angry and starts yelling at him. So now they get into a yelling match with each other. And then she throws her coffee on him. And in response to this, he pushes her away, or the way that it is described is that he pushes her by the neck. So, the way I would imagine that is, you are splashed with coffee. And as a response, you're like, let go, get off me. She threw her coffee on this guy. She is the one who took the assaulting action, okay? She came to him and confronted him face to face, she instigated a verbal fight with this guy and then threw her coffee on him. And the media is reporting this as her getting beaten up or attacked because he pushed her away by the throat in response to having coffee thrown on him. It is so annoying. I cannot get beyond how that entire first part of this story is just being left out. And people are tweeting to this university and they're writing in the comments sections and they're saying things like, this guy needs to be suspended and he needs to be prosecuted and persecuted and kicked out, and all the things that your standard internet mob says whenever they think some terrible injustice or whatever has been done. And I'm somewhat curious to see the outcome of this. Supposedly Twitter has already suspended his account for the comment that he made. I haven't read or seen anything about anything happening to her. I would like to know how people rationalize that in their head, how they think that it is okay for this girl to take these actions, and then all of those actions, all of her aggressiveness is just magically erased because he defended himself in kind. All right, YouTubers, I have rambled on for long enough, and now I am going to go and lay in bed and pretend like I might do something like sleep. But probably what will happen is I'll stare at my tablet, wide awake, looking at the Twitters. Good night and good luck.